Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Sunday, the 11th of February 2024. In today's Millwall news, today was a match day. We played Coventry City away, live on the television cameras, and we lost. We did lose. It seemed to be going quite well until it wasn't, and we'll discuss that as we go through today's video. We start off with this, of course, an advert. It wouldn't be a Millwall official website without an advert. And this is the match report from the official website. Lions beaten at Coventry City. Coventry City beat Millwall 2-1 in the Sky Bet Championship on Sunday afternoon. Romain Esse's first half goal gave the Lions a half-time lead, but Adji Wright's quick-fire double, one from the penalty spot, ensured defeat. There were 4 changes made by Joe Edwards at the CBS Arena as Daniel McNamara and Joe Bryan replaced the injured duo of Sean Hutchinson and Brook Norton-Cuffy, whilst George Honeyman and Esse, for his first start under the head coach, came in for Murray Wallace and George Saville, who both dropped to the bench. The game was merely seconds old when the Lions could have took the lead. A long throw from Javet Tanganga was nodded on by Wes Harding and towards goal, but Coventry managed to prevent the ball going into the net from yards out. At the other end, with 5 minutes played, it was the Sky Blues' turn to somehow not take the lead as Tatsuhiro Sakamoto. An effort was saved by Matija Sarkic. The rebound broke to Adji Wright, who conspired to hit the post twice via a deflection before the ball nestled back into the arms of the grateful stopper. Michael Obafemi then tested the palms of Brad Collins with an attempt from just inside the penalty area. But with 12 minutes played, the Lions were able to take the lead through Esse as he finished off a move involving Sarkic's ball forward, Jake Cooper's flick on, and Zion Fleming's driving run into the 18-yard box. It could have been 2 a couple of minutes later as Honeyman's pass split the defence and found McNamara, the right-back's cross, finding Obafemi in the middle, but he was once again thwarted by Collins before Bryan controlled on his chest and flashed a strike wide of the far post in an impressive start by the Lions. Sarkic, though, had to be on guard to tip a Victor Torp free kick over the crossbar on 20 minutes, with the goalkeeper and Casper Linor then combining to snuff out a Coventry attack as they looked to come more into the game on the half-hour mark. With 10 minutes to play until the half-time break, Callum O'Hare found Casey Palmer inside the box, but his shot was blocked by Wes Harding. Obafemi's snapshot went over the bar as the second half got underway before Sarkic had to spring into action to save Sakamoto's effort at the other end moments later. Torp's shot was deflected wide as the Sky Blues went on the hunt for the equaliser around the hour mark, with Edwards opting to bring Tom Bradshaw and Duncan Wanmore off the bench in an attempt to give the Lions fresh impetus in attack shortly after. On 65 minutes, however, Coventry were awarded a spot kick after Wright was brought down by Tanganga, the Sky Blues number 11 sending Sarkic the wrong way to bring the host back on level terms. A teasing Honeyman free kick was just missed by the outstretched boot of Cooper in Millwall's reply. With that proving pivotal as Coventry raced down the other end to take the lead as Wright's strike squirmed past the dive of Sarkic. Coventry's tails were up and Torp's effort had to be put behind before Saville and Mayer for his Lions debut were brought on for the final 13 minutes of the afternoon, the debutant sending a couple of crosses into the penalty area which went begging. There was one final chance for Millwall in second half stoppage time, but a free kick was cleared to safety. And the team was as follows: Sarkic, Tanganga, Harding, Cooper, McNamara, Denor, Honeyman, Bryan, Fleming, Esse, Obafemi. The subs were Saville on for Honeyman 77, Mayer on for Fleming 77, Watmore on for Esse 63, and Bradshaw on for Obafemi 63. The unused substitutes were Biakovsky, Wallace, Mitchell, Campbell, and Leonard. So yeah. What can you say? There were 817 away fans there, Millwall fans there. That was so obviously a lot of fans saying, "Where's Esse? Where's Esse? Why aren't you playing Esse?" He starts Esse, Esse scores. So there's that. Then I don't know about you, but in the moment when I was watching it, when the subs came on, it just felt we were a bit deflated after that. We started to sit back more, and 4 minutes after those substitutions were made, obviously the trademark on the hour, the old Gary Rowett special of this player's only fit enough to play 60 minutes, so we're going to have to take him off. We make those substitutions. Pre-planned. What was it yesterday? Pre-planned fluid football. Pre-planned fluid substitutions on the hour mark, and we just fell apart. And it said in there to provide fresh impetus for attack. Yeah, that wasn't the case. It was a lot worse, and we just seemed to go backwards and backwards and backwards. We were lucky with the one that hit the post twice early in the first half. The goal, obviously that was pre-planned, but even then, it had a bit of the Millwall chaos in it. What do I mean by that? Well, you see the goal, you see Sarkic take the goal kick up long, and what they done, they figured out, well, if we have a dead ball possession, why do we need to keep the three centre backs as centre backs? So they pushed Jay Cooper up on the left hand side, and they bombed it to him. He flicked it on. Fleming chests it down, goes forward, gets tackled, but manages to bobble the ball through into the middle of the pitch, and SA strikes it first time into the goal. So there's the pre-planned bit, and still a bit of Millwall chaos. But yeah, this is and then we got Tanganga giving away the penalty. Don't think he had to do that because Cooper was running in behind. And then after that, they seem to be targeting Tanganga. Yeah, I said at the time when we signed him, he seems to remind me a bit of what's his name? Innis. I forgot his first name. Is it Ryan Innis? Ryan Innis. I think it's Innis. Who's a former England youth international, got in a bit of bother, assault at a nightclub. I think he went to jail, where he may have got like a suspended. He's had a really tough upbringing. He had to basically act as a guardian for his younger siblings at the time. But he's very violent. He gets sent off a lot. He's very aggressive in his game. And I thought back in the day, like he would have made an ideal Millwall player. He was like he let go by Palace, went to Southend, and now I think he's at Charlton. I'm not sure. He was there last season. Not sure where he is now. But Tanganga just reminds me of that. He's just like a better version of Ryan Innis. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But yeah, just let's get through the comments then and see what everyone said. So this was put up in the morning. I'm going to bring you this because then we'll go through. So this is southernnews.co.uk. It's put up in the morning. This is before the game. Relegation is definitely not a word we use. Well, I think you should start using it because we are in a relegation scrap. And you need to get real, and you need to figure it out. Joe Edwards assesses Mill's league situation ahead of the Coventry clash. The Lions boss believes there are still too many points up for grabs to claim his team are in a fight to stay up. There are 15 games left. Mill boss Joe Edwards insists he and the players are not discussing relegation despite his side's awkward league form. The Lions kick off at Coventry this lunchtime, just 4 points off the relegation zone after losing 3 of their last 4 games in the Championship. It's not the most perilous position Mill have found themselves in this season, having begun Boxing Day just 3 points above the bottom 3. But a hat-trick of consecutive victories over Queen's Park Rangers, Norwich and Bristol City during the festive period gave the club a boost before another patch of difficult form followed in January. Edwards believes there is still plenty of time to turn the situation around. He said, relegation at the moment is definitely not a word we use or the scenario we've spoken about. I don't want to say that casually because I do understand that I do look at the league table. It's obviously not early in the season anymore, but there's still plenty of time. And when you look at the amount of points and how tight it is, you can have one great week and it could look massively different. No, it won't, and I'll show you why when we look at the league table at the end of the video. Or you could just skip to it now because obviously you're able to do that. So I think it's too early to declare you're in any kind of battle or tie you out to any situation that you're in. But we're in the bottom section of the league in a position we don't want to be in, and we want to be better than. We're in the final third of the season now where the games do start ticking away quickly. So I'm aware of what we want to start putting points on the board and be in a better position than we're in. But we can only do that by addressing it game by game and putting as many points on the board as possible. But we don't sit there and talk about relegation battle as such, no. Today's match pits Edwards against the side who handed him his first defeat as Millwall boss following the impressive 4-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday. Coventry were the opponents for Edwards' first game at the Den, and the Sky Blues run out comfortable 3-0 win as well. Certainly it was an improvement on that. I will give him that. It was an improvement on that game, because that game was a bit of a shocker, wasn't it? Asked about that game, the Lions coach said, it's fine margins in games, and it reminds me of one of the old cliches about goals changing games. We were clinical against Sheffield Wednesday and won 4-0, which is an incredibly emphatic scoreline, particularly to get away from home. The reality is we were just clinical in and around the goal. When we played Coventry after and lost 3-0, it was the complete opposite, really. The scoreline can look damning when you lose 3-0 at home. Watching the game back this week to recap what went on last time we faced this opponent, we played a lot of good football that day and had several moments in and around the goal that we didn't take where we had done against Sheffield Wednesday. And the simple fact was we were very front-footed and confident from what we've done the week before, so we were probably a bit more open than I would like us to be. We probably got slightly carried away with the new idea of being front-footed in their half. We were playing a different system that day than we played for a few weeks now when we were a back four. There were just a few moments where we gave Coventry more space than you can allow against teams at that level, and they really punished us, and they were clinical. They were striking a goal, and the rebound was falling to them. The third goal was a set piece in the 93rd minute or so when the game is pretty much done. They fully deserved the win, but at the same time I don't go too overboard with what I learned about the group. It was just a reminder of how brutal football can be, and how important it is to be clinical around the goal and take your chances. Indeed, and how many games ago was that? Quite a while, wasn't it? Was that in October, wasn't it? And we're still talking about it, about doing things better, and we aren't doing them better. This is also from the southernnews.co.uk. This is post-match. Lads, we need to do more than that. Joe Edwards gives his reaction to the sloppy nature of the goals Millwall conceded against Coventry. After 66 minutes, the Lions led at the CBS Arena, but 4 minutes later they would be 2-1 down after a mistake-laden series of events. After the substitutions by Joe Edwards were made. Joe Edwards has urged these players to cut out the costly errors after Millwall conceded 2 quick-fire and avoidable goals away at Coventry. The Lions led 1-0 thanks to Romain Esse's first half opener, but conceded twice in a matter of minutes in the CBS Arena. First, Jafet Tanganga gave away a sloppy penalty that Adji Wright converted before the forward scored at the near post a few minutes later with a shot that Matej Jasakic will be disappointed not to have saved. Yeah, he tried to strong arm it one-handed, I think, because he was out of position slightly. Could have been doing with a few more yards over. The Lions have now dropped 24 points from winning positions in the Championship, more than any other side, and Edwards thinks the goals conceded today were littered with mistakes. Asked if his team had a psychological problem after taking the lead, the Millwall manager said, I'm not sure if it's in the back of their minds as soon as we go 1-0 up, because if you look at the goal today, we got the goal and then we went up again. It's not an effect psychologically where we score the first goal and then try and shut up shop and we do it too early and get it wrong. It's not really that. Well, it did seem like that watching it because we were playing deeper and deeper and deeper. Where in the first half we were trying to play them offside, out basically 10-15 yards from the D, and this time the line was basically in our area, and that wasn't good at all. I can only say there's a mentality issue around it because it's the mistakes. If you look at the manner of their 2 goals, the standout things about the goals that decided the game are that they littered with mistakes. It's a sloppy tackle that gives the opponent away in the box, and that's always going to be the challenge against Coventry. They're so good 1v1 and 2v1 around the box. You have to be on it defensively. We got caught the wrong side and we make a foul, so that's an error. But then the fact that we follow it up so soon after with some positional issues, and then even the finish isn't a great finish, and it ends up in the back of our net. So to make a culmination of mistakes in such a short period of time, that's where we're kind of saying, lads, we need to do more than that. All we can do is keep addressing it, and we do. We look at the stats from those moments. We had it on our game against Preston after they scored between there and half time. We couldn't get anywhere near the game, so we started looking at all the data and breaking it down and working out what happened and what changed. We work on it time and time again, but at the moment we just can't put it into practice into games. So there you go. It's funny that, isn't it? Like, stats isn't actual real football. It's just stats. It's not real football. You know what I'm saying? This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Millwall boss feeling frustrated as his side can't build on strong start in 2-1 loss at Coventry City. Joe Edwards spoke of his frustration as Millwall were once again on the wrong end of a comeback, this time to Coventry City at the CBS Arena on Sunday afternoon. The Lions led 1-0 at the break thanks to Romain Este's second goal of the season. Yeah, we know all that stuff. That's a fourth defeat in their last 5 league games and leaves them winless since the 1-0 win at Bristol City on New Year's Day. It's a really frustrating position we're in at the moment, said Lions head coach Edwards. You constantly have games like this where there's a lot to be pleased with. We start well, we execute a lot of what we talk about, and we get the goal that our start deserves. Then we have an opportunity to get a second, which makes it a completely different game, not only for them, but it relieves the constant pressure when you're facing players like the attackers they got. We won our last game on New Year's Day. We haven't won since then, but we've had a lot where we're not getting beaten well by anyone in terms of scoreline or being completely dominated from start to finish. We're having several games where, lots to be pleased about, great start, etc., etc., but not many points to show for it. The bottom line is we know we're a football team in a competitive league and we want to put points on the board, and there's too many getting away from us at the moment. It's frustrating. It's now 24 points dropped from winning positions this season, a staggering total, and something that Edwards said had been talked about and worked on in training. I'm not sure if it's in the back of their minds as soon as we go now. This is basically repeating the quote that I just read. And then he talks about the sloppy goals, the game against Preston, blah, 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 and that was it. So, first bit was new, the second bit was a repeat. Rob Norton-Cuffy, not around, injured. So this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press's online website. Joe Edwards has played down the severity of Brooke Norton-Cuffy's injury after the Millwall wing-back missed the 2-1 defeat at Coventry City this afternoon. The Lions head coach was unable to clarify what the issue was, but said he will be monitored on a day-to-day basis. Norton-Cuffy is on a season-long loan from Arsenal. It's not serious, said Edwards. It's a mild hamstring injury. Another hamstring injury. Or is it just strong fatigue? We're actually quite unsure, but the scans aren't definitive enough. It was enough to rule him out of training this week. And the game today, in terms of having 2 more games this week in Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday, it's going to be day to day. Assess how he goes on the training pitch. Rook is one who sometimes you forget how young he is and how much football he's played at this level, which is physically demanding level. He's got a lot of R-stuff around him in every game and the position he plays and the style of player he is. So we've just had to look after him this week, and he wasn't able to be a part of it. So there you go. Like I mentioned before in a previous video, players are being dropped and rested and taken off at half time because the sports science say, this guy's run 5 kilometers, you need to take him off now. We've got the pre-planned substitutions on the hour mark that lost us that game, in my opinion. Don't know about you. What do you think? Now, here we go. So southwarknews.co.uk, Romain Esse. He starts, he scores. Who knew? Oh, the fans knew, because we've been clamouring for him to actually play since the first game of the season when he scored that goal. And he was set up by Ado Mamaka. Wow, who knew? Me and the staff talk about him every day. Following Romain Esse's goal, Joe Edwards provides detailed analysis on Millwall star's development and why he chose to start him against Coventry. Probably because he's trying to win a game. Joe Edwards revealed he was not surprised Romain Esse scored against Coventry City, as he explained why he finally started the youngster. The 18-year-old has spent most of the season coming off the bench and last started the game in August when Millwall lost 3-1 at Norwich. He wasn't the best in that game, was he? I think he got a bit frustrated. He's being pushed and pulled around a lot. Having faced several questions about the youngster's game time, Edwards put him on the team sheet for the first time during his reign as Millwall boss against Coventry and was almost instantly vindicated in his decision. Bro, what are you talking? Vindicated? He should have been playing earlier. Like, why didn't you play him in January? Because you were told not to. Because we might be selling him. So, like I'm said before, other things that aren't related to football are dictating who plays on the pitch. SA gave Millwall the lead at CBS Arena with a deflected effort, but the Lions went on to lose the game 2-1 after defensive errors. But the performance levels of the teenager, following encouraging substitute appearances in recent weeks against Preston North End and Hull City, will have left fans excited. Asked about SA's goal after the game, Edwards said, "Oh, I was delighted for him, man. If I'm honest, it don't overly surprise me. And that's not me trying to pat myself on the back for bringing him in. It's where he's been at recently. When I first came in, and he was a player that I already had an awareness of because I was in England. Set up and Rain was in the age group below me in England, so I knew him as a player. So when I got this job, I was excited to work with him. He's very young. His acceleration from academy to first team squad player at Millwall was very quick. He basically bypassed the under-21s in terms of development program, which is true. Because I go to quite a few under-21 games when they're at the Den. He was basically on the bench for the under-21s a few times. Then he started for the under-21s and he was absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And then since then, he's never looked back. He was the first sub I brought in on my first game at the club, so I had an excitement about working with him. The slow period he's had over Christmas and not getting as much game time as he would have liked is so understandable. I've seen it loads. Players of that age making that jump, it's not easy. There's going to be ups and downs. But what I've seen in recent weeks in the games where Remain's come on, I think it was the Preston game and the whole game. He's made a bit of a statement and he's backed it up every day in training, in my opinion. The last couple of weeks on the training pitch, he's looked like a different player to the one I was seeing every day in December. So today, his opportunity to start was absolutely him earning it. It was nothing to do with resting others or injuries. It was him earning it. He got his opportunity and he took it. And now hopefully he can continue to build and find some consistency with that, albeit still showing some patience. Edwards was asked for more detail now SA has changed over the last couple of months and whether maturity would be an accurate word to use it. He said, maturity is probably a good word and it's probably a combination of physically and mentally. This isn't me being critical of Remain personally about the December and early January he's had, because it's so normal in players his age, especially when they do have that quick meteoric rise. They sort of get quite comfortable with where they are, and you do have periods where you're looking at them one day on the training pitch in matches. I remember I brought him on against QPR on Boxing Day. You have periods where you see them and all of a sudden they do really look their age. They look really young. And maybe they end up in duels and the opponent looks too powerful for them and you get reminded that they're very young. Then all of a sudden something clicks. They hit a bit of form in training, they're holding the ball up and they look strong and they look confident. And that's what we've seen. Me and the staff talk about him every day. We talk about the players when we finish training, or we watch the videos back. But he's certainly been poking us with his performances recently and saying, come on, you need to take note. And he's done it consistently for a couple of weeks, so it was time to put him in. Edwards was asked if his background in youth coaching made him particularly invested in SA's journey. And he said, it gives me the excitement. Helping young players is all you can do. And obviously I've had a lot of experience doing that. And when you see it comes out in success for them, whether that be short term like today or longer term when you see where their careers go, you can get a lot of satisfaction from it. It's always something that I would like to be part of my work. What I would say at the same time is that it's just because I have an academy background. There definitely will never be any handouts that I would put academy kids in for the sake of it, just for trying to do it. When you're at a club like this with the amount of honest and hard-working senior players that we've got, and when you're in a difficult position we're in, it's very much a transition season for this team. The young players will have to earn their opportunity at the moment. I'm pleased with the way Remain's working. But I'll tell you what, if we get relegated, our under-21s is probably strong enough to be in, to make up half of the team in League One. So I would certainly hope that happens, and we do that. If we do get relegated, if we play Malachi, if we play Alex Mitchell, if we play Abdul Malik, George Walker, all of these players, because they're certainly possible League One standard players. Kamal Grant, others. But let's hope it doesn't come to that, because I'm pretty sure anyone, like obviously in the position we're in, contracts talks are happening now. Players who are out of contract in the summer, they're talking to other clubs, they're talking to Millwall. What league are we going to be in? And you're probably thinking, well, we're not going to get relegated. Well, no, we may very well get relegated. We are certainly in a relegation scrap. That is, you cannot deny that now. You cannot deny that. Before we get a look at the table, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, The under-21s are playing tomorrow. They're playing a home game against Colchester United, who, to be fair to them, they're not very good. Colchester, they're not very good. They compete at this level. I'm not sure why. I think they would do better if they dropped down, but then probably they wouldn't be able to get the quality of players they get by being at this level. They probably get the cast-offs from Ipswich and Norwich and maybe some West Ham ones as well. And if they weren't at this level, they probably wouldn't get those players. So, yes. So this hopefully is a guaranteed win. It's 1:30. It's the Mill training ground. It's not at a Den, so you probably can't go and watch it. But there you go. We hope for a win, and we hope to repeat the league win of last season. It's a bit tougher this year. We got Bournemouth and we got QPR. It's a three-way battle, so we haven't had it all our own way. But we've got players back now. We've got Frankie Vid back. We've got other players back. We still have a few players out on loan, but hey, hopefully we can smash Colchester and get back up that table. Now, the first team table, not very good. Now, we're playing midweek. We're playing on Valentine's Day. We're playing on Wednesday. We're playing Ipswich. It's 8 o'clock kickoff. Is that on? Because that's on Sky then? It must be on Sky then, no? They all are on Sky, but all the midweek games are on Red Button. But that game must be on Sky then. Because otherwise, why would it kick off at 8 o'clock? Because they always kick. The Sky games always kick off at 8 o'clock. So, yeah, our game is on Sky Sports main event, Sky Sports Football, Sky Sports Ultra HDR. And I think it probably will still be on Millwall Match Pass or Millwall TV. So yeah, there you go. So that means our game is the last game of the midweek, which is a problem. Why is that a problem? Well, let's go down and look at the table. This is from whoscored.com. Here is the table. We are 3 points below the team above us in the table, namely Blackburn Rovers, who won. They won the game this weekend. They beat Stoke. So you can see all the colours, the reds, the greys, and the greens. We're not doing too good. For last 6 games, 1 win, 4 defeats, 1 draw. And you can see QPR, they're huffing and puffing. 2 wins, 2 draws. Huddersfield, 3 draws, 1 win. Stoke not doing too good, 4 defeats in a row. But let's look at the points. QPR are now 3 points off of the team above them. No, that's 2 points. 2 points. 2 points. Now, as I said, we are the last game of midweek, which means we may very well be dropping a couple of places. So, Leicester versus Sheffield Wednesday. Now you think, well, Leicester are going to win that, aren't they? Sheffield Wednesday. Well, Sheffield Wednesday, they beat Birmingham 2-0. If somehow Sheffield Wednesday win that game, we then have them coming back into it, where before they were so far adrift, it was basically one relegation place, that 22 position between all the teams around. But now it could be 2. You think, oh well, we're fine. If there's 2 relegation places that are contending with, maybe we might be in a bit of trouble. So we've got Leicester, Sheffield Wednesday, but hey, Leicester are going to win that, aren't they? Look, they've only lost 1 game in 6. They've only lost 4 games all season. They've only conceded 24 goals all season. 2 of those are to us, by the way. Now, we've got Leicester, Sheffield Wednesday. We've got Birmingham versus Blackburn. Now, this is a kicker. Let's go back down. Don't get dizzy. Birmingham versus Blackburn, right? Unless this is a draw, we're screwed either way. Birmingham win, they go above us, we drop down. And they reduce their goal difference because they're on -13 now. If Blackburn win, they go on to 39, and then that means we get bunched down with the teams in the bottom. We get even further adrift from the places above us. Next game, Swansea Leeds. Swansea on 36 points as well. Could they beat Leeds? Leeds are absolutely steamrolling at the moment. I think they won 6 in a row at least. Yeah, they won 6 in a row. They're now up to 3rd. So you would think, well, Swansea aren't going to win that, but Swansea won their last game away at Hull. And how many games can Leeds win in a row before they don't win a game? It's got to win sometime. So again, if they win that, that punches us down and keeps us down, because then we'll have to win like 3 games in a row to go up 1 place, because we have to win to close the gap and then win to overtake them, and we can't even win. We haven't won since New Year's Day. So next game, Huddersfield versus Sunderland on the Wednesday. So this is on the Wednesday, but this kicks off before us by 15 minutes. Huddersfield, if they win that game, they're below us. If they win that game, they're on 34 points. They go above us. So if Birmingham win, Huddersfield win, we drop down 2 places to 20th. 20th. Stoke versus Queen's Park Rangers. Now this is the one we need to. We need both teams to lose, but that's not going to happen. So we want a draw. Because damn, if QPR win this, there is no gap. It's literally the gap has gone. If Stoke win it again, we drop down even further. So if Huddersfield, Stoke and Birmingham win, we're down to 21. Or that's technically true depending on the result in our game, because obviously those games will start 15 minutes before us and we'll finish 15 minutes before our game finishes. Then we have, what else do we have? Plymouth, they're on 36 points as well. They play Coventry, who obviously we saw how good they were today. Then we've got Millwall Ipswich, and there's just listening to the response of the Millwall fans. You can see Ipswich now. They've fallen off. They've won 1 game in 6, which is the same as us, by the way, but they've got 4 draws. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility that we could win this game. But not the way we're playing at the moment. Not the way we're lining up at the moment. Not the way that the manager's just making bog standard, by the book, pre-planned substitutions on the outer mark. That cost us the game. As after that, we were like a different team. I thought Obafemi did really well in this game, better than he did when he had 45 minutes the other day where he didn't do anything. I thought Obafemi was really good. He was good at holding up the ball. He had a bit of pace and strength. Looked pretty decent. But yeah. So yeah, Ipswich, we got to play Ipswich, and you can see, look at the table between Ipswich and West Brom. There's a massive gap there, 11 points. So yeah, we are in a relegation scrap. If we lose to Ipswich, we could be down to 21st position, and that's not going to be good. Like I said, if QPR beat Stoke, then if we lose to Ipswich, we'll be down to 21, and we could be in the bottom 3 if we don't beat Sheffield Wednesday. You think, well, we'll beat Sheffield Wednesday. What if we don't, though? What if we don't? So on Saturday, February the 17th at 5 p.m, we could most likely be sitting in the relegation places. When do you start to panic? When do you start to think we've made the wrong appointment here? When do you start to think this isn't working? When do you start to think? When do you start being real, man? and start looking at what's really going on, not what you want to happen or what you want to go on. When do you start to think of what's really happening in front of your own eyes and then do something about it? Do you wait till we actually get relegated? Or do you pull the trigger before then? I don't know, but yeah, this is gonna be a rough couple of months. But like I said, hopefully, if we do get relegated, we can play some of the under 21s because they're pretty decent players. Save some money, build a decent team, and come back up strong. But we'll see how we go. On that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.